and welcome to the Glacially Musical Podcast. It is beer, metal, and swearing. Of course, I am Nik Cameron, the genius behind whatever the hell we do. Thank you for joining us. And I am joined by my good friend, a man who always writes what he feels, who's a big fan of the think piece, will always be who always snaps up when his woman calls for him, Keith Fong Torres. How we doing today, buddy? I screwed it up.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
I'm
Ben
I'm
Fong
Keith Funk
Torres.
Torres. Considering that I live in the Bay Area, I really would love to run into him someday. Not like physically run him over, but run into him and like meet
Ooh,
him because
you
like
don't
he's
drive, so I don't think
incredible.
you need to worry about running them
That's
over.
also, but I ride a lot of Ubers.
Real quick, I am not on the schneef. I don't have any hand truck fuel running through me today. I am. It's allergy season in St. Louis. I apologize. Probably should have prepared better with Kleenex. I didn't. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Of course, we are. I don't know what the hell this is. Beer, metal, swearing, blah blah blah. YouTube happy hour, all the business. But this week we are continuing with our series on Grand Funk Railroad. Thank you for joining us. We actually get a little bit of funk this week, kind of. And how we do this, if you are new, we do a greeting, a beer check, a vinyl check. Sorry, news check. My nose was fine until just now. Greeting, beer, vinyl, news, shirt, meat of the day. Meat of the day, Grand Funk Railroad, Pluribus Funk. Now, I am having a beer I have never had on the podcast before. It's a local brew. It is a light lager, a light American lager. It's been in the news a little lately. I don't know if you would have heard of them, but I am rocking Bud Goddamn Light. It's summer, it's hot, and you know what? It's more delicious than I remember. Stay with me, boys. Stay with me. So, finger fudge pour down the middle. Oh, I don't think this is going to fill it up. What do you think, buddy?
There's
I
a
don't
giant
know.
glass though.
You know what? It ain't going to fill it up. So, let's just get this done.
You're done.
Got two lovely pints.
So suffice to say, if you hate Bud Light, don't listen to this podcast. If you hate Bud Light because of politics, I'm not
Charles
straight out of
Barkley.
Compton. I'm straight out the mansion. F Kid Rock.
Charles Barkley. Cheers, Charles fucking Barkley.
Okay.
Did you hear what he said?
No.
He's going to every bar then when he's on the road and buying everybody a round of Bud Light.
Oh, that's cool. All right then. I thought I was gonna. He's a very conservative dude, by the way. I don't know if you know that he wants to be like president.
Of course, he's
someday.
a conservative dude. He's a millionaire.
He's a multimillionaire. Yeah. I'm drinking a beer I've had many times, including recently another Oscar Blues Dale's Pale Ale. I love this thing.
We all love. If you like beer, you love Oscar Blues.
And it's $2 at the vegetarian market. So like, you got to get your grains in. Finger fudge pour, blah 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 blah.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm Ace Frehley.
Oh, my wine's guy. Cheers.
Cheers. Refreshing. So, vinyl check. I'm gonna say I don't know if I've checked this one because I keep like a new arrivals pile, and this one was purchased mostly for my wife, and she hasn't listened to it yet. I know I've cleaned it, but it's Heart, self-titled. This is an 80s record. It's got Looks Could Kill, What About Love, Never, These Dreams, The Wolf. It's got some good classic 80s crap on it. It's Heart in the 80s.
These Dreams is an incredible song and video, and I just gotta shout out the hair in the band on that photo on the cover album. Like Nancy and Ann in particular have amazing.
Oh my god! If you ever see hair. High school photos of my wife, she has that hair, big giant like waterfall bangs. And then another one,
font hair. Got it.
Oh yeah, Midwest '90s chic. Jefferson Airplane After Bathing at Baxter's. Actually, have not spun this yet, so I don't know if it's any good. It's not even
I think that's their first hit record.
Is it? Oh
it
god,
might have some good songs. How
like
much
mold.
Was the Heart? You're very rushing through this today.
Oh, I got other things to talk about.
So Did you say $8?
Yeah, $8. Don't know any of those songs.
Doesn't ever pay to rush through these things. We don't rush. Perfection can't be rushed.
You know what? You're right. If we go long, we go long. We started early, so we can go long.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
So
I prefer not to, but
I mean, if we do,
we can go long on this part of the show because we're definitely going short later on.
That is true.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, this is my Oktoberfest mug
That is great.
that my father-in-law gave to me for a Christmas gift. Nailed the timing, Bob.
Good job, Bob. Rest in power. How much was that airplane record?
$8. It was 7 and 8. Heart was 7. Airplane was $8. I mean, here's the deal. I charge $7 for shipping on my Discogs. If anybody's like, "Oh my god, that's so much," just keep in mind it costs $4 to ship it and $3 for a mailer.
I don't think there's anything wrong with charging the appropriate amount for. If anything, if I'm buying vinyl, I want it shipped for more money than less. I want to know you took the time to package it and charge me for the packaging. Good packaging. That's all.
I actually had one record, which was a promo as well. I had to do a review on it, sent to me from Germany in an envelope, not a padded envelope,
a paper envelope,
and it I one corner ding.
That's surprising in a good way.
Yeah, I saw that and I went, no.
I'm waiting on a bunch of record labels to send me stuff, and I'm moving apartments and leaving for a long trip in like 11 days. So I'm really hoping this stuff shows up. I have time to absorb it and do some unboxing videos and other things. In the meantime, if you've been following the podcast for quite a while, it's my turn, right? You're done. 2 checks, right? I have 1 check today. If you've been following the podcast for a while, Nik and I try to do this in the order we buy them. Occasionally that order gets upended by special purchases. If you were following our chaser a few chasers back, we did Keefy's big vinyl score, which technically covered 1 weekend in the end of March. So now I'm into April. And I have my first April record of 2023 to check for vinyl. And I just opened it, literally just opened it. And this is one of my favorite bands of all time. I know I say that all the time because I buy all the stuff I love, or I end up loving it. This is the brand new album from Enslaved, Heimdall. Probably said with a better accent if you were from Norway or Swedish. So this is their brand new album, progressive black metal band, Enslaved. Beautiful gatefold. 2 vinyls. Can't really appreciate it here, but really distinctive artwork. And then it's actually, this is a landscape photo. Look at that guy. That was actually 1 photo, I believe.
That reminds me of Picture One, which is a dark wave record I reviewed. The dude sent me the vinyl, did a vinyl review of it. What turned out he was a huge metal fan from the 90s. Loves Carcass, loves Morbid Angel, stuff like that. And he's doing this like synth. I would call it synth metal, but nobody's going to call it that because synth metal is for no one.
I mean, there are synth metal bands. Master Boot Record comes to mind, if you know what that is, on Metal Blade. And it's all, danceable metal. Anyway, to continue, there was an insert. It's all the lyrics on the album, which always a great job by the multiple lyricists in the band. I shouldn't cover my mouth as I show the thing. Beautiful photography, beautifully
Wait,
done.
we're showing our things?
I mean, it's a check. I'm showing what's in the packaging.
Oh. Do we add a check? A thing check? We're not doing that, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I always show the inserts or whatever's inside the vinyl. I mean, if you bought a vinyl that's 50 years old, I think people assume what's it. Are you making a joke or something? I don't understand. Did you make an entendre and I didn't get it?
Yes, it was a double entendre.
Okay, then.
Your thing?
Yeah. Anyhow.
I'm sorry, I'm a child.
You were a little bit. I did not get the fun vinyl on this. They all sold out. The whole pre-order. Every fun vinyl that I potentially wanted. So I just got the black. I love the distinctive label that also matches the album artwork inside.
Colored vinyl looks cooler, but black vinyl sounds the same.
And let's give some respect. Let's put some respect on Nuclear Blast's name. I had pulled out the mylars. But look,
Oh, I
it's the
see that.
mylar with the paper. So,
Nice.
like, Nuclear Blast, nice job. They do their own printing. I think they have their own presses that they partner with. And so when you get a vinyl from them, you usually get this guy. So I'm save on
Perfection.
my even though I
Perfection.
have my many invest in vinyl, not a sponsor of this show, but I wish they were.
Be nice.
And that was full price for a brand new double vinyl. And I believe it was $28 plus shipping. Not the cheapest thing I bought this year, but for a brand new album from that label of that caliber of band, I'm good to spend it.
How much was it? I missed.
$28 plus shipping.
28?
Yeah, so probably about $34.
$34 for a double? No, I got no qualms there. No qualms at all. All right. Let's do a shirt check. Rocking Godzilla again. And Godzilla's like Metallica for me. I always have to have a Godzilla shirt. I will wear it out and I will get another one.
Metallica's like Metallica for me. I am wearing a
I have 3 Metallica shirts, which is like too many, really.
yeah, for sure. I am wearing my This Is the Way shirt from New Rockstars, celebrating the original season 1 of The Mandalorian. New Rockstars is a geek channel on YouTube where they review comic book movies and TV shows and also sci-fi stuff. So I love the shirt. It's super silky. I love this shirt a whole lot. I don't wear it that much, or I haven't worn it on the show, I don't think, before, but I do love
Nope, I have not seen. Have not seen.
it. It's like literally the opening scene of The Mandalorian when he walks into the cafe to take the job to get the child. This is that's what you're seeing.
All righty, let's get into the news. I'm gonna let Keefy bring you down first, and I'll bring some happy into this.
I will do a third brief news item since we mentioned Metallica, and we cannot go one episode without Metallica.
I tried and I failed.
You
I
failed
was
already.
trying.
So since you did, let's just do the quick. Metallica has partnered with Universal Pictures to create a documentary documenting their super fans, in air quotes, could be a potential title. And
They didn't call us.
I'm tempted to. Well, I mean, like, I don't know if it does my fandom run parallel to my music journalism career? Does it ruin it? I'm never going to get to interview them at this point. I don't think it's my goal, but I don't think it's happening. We've put our hat in the ring to cover the tour. I'm not sure if they'll cover us, but I think it's cool that they're doing this. Of course, people are snarking and things like that, but that when they do projects like this, they always go all out. So they have put a call out to their fans to submit themselves as who is a super fan. So,
I'm not doing that. I'm much too cool for that. But
what's the email address? I'll do that.
But what's the email address, just in case I needed to tell somebody else?
I'll put the link in the description. I don't have it offhand. It's in our news story on ghostcultmag.com.
Let me just say, hopefully this comes off better than Trekkies and Kiss Loves You. I watched Trekkies and I couldn't watch Star Trek for 10 years.
Wow.
And I, up until that point, I had read like 400 Star Trek novels in the past like 5 years. And I had just tapes and tapes and tapes of, I mean, I just like went, oh my God, no, I cannot be that.
Do you know the Breckenmeyer film Fanboys, which came out before Phantom Menace? I think, or was set before Phantom Menace. Like one guy, like this band of adult friends, their childhood best friend has
starring America's sweetheart Kristen Bell.
Yes, already.
Seth Rogen, William Shatner.
He knows already.
I may have seen it.
You may have seen it at least once. All right, Breckenmeyer technically is the
star. Kevin Smith and Jay Muse are both in it.
Both in it, of course.
Ethan Suplee.
Okay, you've seen it. Anywho,
sorry, I love that movie.
Imagine they're disappointed. They break into Skywalker Ranch to, spoiler alert, break into Skywalker Ranch to watch The Phantom Menace before it comes out, and then
it gets sad. It's happy.
Now that we've totally ruined this. As we record this today, 2 memorable milestones of sadness would have been Chris Cornell's 59th birthday. He is gone 6 years, and would have been his 59th birthday today. Leo officially is his birth sign, and is also the day we lost Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell's best friend. So very sad. Both suicides apparently, and Chester's hits equally hard. Cornell might have been one of the best vocal talents of all time. Bennington is essentially the voice of his generation of people, and it's super. Even if you don't like Linkin Park, or I've met people who don't like Soundgarden. I don't know. I don't trust them or like them very much, but two great
But
vocalists
you
lost.
trust me, right?
Yeah, well, two great. We're gonna talk. There's a future Soundgarden episode coming. You don't have a choice. You're gonna just sit there and be held hostage, like the Soundgarden cuck I'm gonna make you. But yeah, just what it sounds like. You can sit in the corner, watch and cry while I Soundgarden. Anyway, and so
So much respect going on in this one.
yeah, well,
It is what it is.
yeah, no one besmirches John Bonham in my presence, and no one besmirches Chris Cornell or Soundgarden in my presence. Anywho, so that was today, and now I give you the positive and zippy news by your own co-host Nick Cameron.
First off, let me bring it down just a hair. A lot of awfulness has come out for about a lot of musicians today. Basically, anybody you saw doing any awfulness, fuck them. Period. You know, that's all I'm going to say. That if you know, you know, and if you don't, you will. But so here's some good news. Vinnie Vincent and the Head Chopper's Ball. More news coming, and I love Keefy's exuberant face. Definitely, he's not looking at me like "Shut up, Nick. Shut up, Nick." But Vinnie Vincent, it's only $275 to attend this time because apparently he only got 4 people last time.
Only.
Yeah, it was like it started at 20 and now it's like 4. That's all the people that will come to these. But he basically has the best of the best of Nashville bands that you can go see for $10 at any bar on any random Friday night. So it's got that going for it. So if you want to hear some country music with your Vinnie Vincent, there you go. No catering, as far as I know. And for the rest of it, don't care. Some other fun news. Last night, anybody who follows me on Twitter saw me being silly last night, posting pictures of Carl Batananalewski from Aqua Teen Hunger Force wearing the Foreigner belt. And the reason why is because I saw Foreigner. And I think Keefy and I can both agree, what passes for Foreigner? No original members,
Did
no
it feel like
classic
the
members.
first time you saw Foreigner?
No, it felt like the second time when there were no classic members. Because I've seen them 3 times now, all with my wife. Because if you ever question me and my love and devotion to my partner, I've seen Foreigner 3 fucking times. I'm not a fan. But the best part about this one was Loverboy opened. And I hate Loverboy. And which again, we go back
Everybody's to working for the weekend, right? You look at Nick's face. That's right back at you for the Vinnie Vincent note we didn't need, but go ahead.
I will give you all.
Loverboy's not a good band. Like
I'm going to give you all the Vinnie Vincent notes forever,
every week now.
I'm just going to cuck you on that. So just sit in the corner and cry.
Nick and Keith cuck each other. There's your description for the podcast today.
Yeah,
terrible.
Actually, that'd be great because then we're going to get the Bud Light haters watching this. So put it in there in the description. Put cuck in the description. I need it.
Snowflakes. We already swore too much for this episode to get out. I was decrying some of our, hopefully to improve numbers off air. And now we just swore a bunch, said cuck 10 times, gave each other shit easily.
Well, we are who we are.
We are who we are, but we're not good at getting better at this.
No.
We really are not.
I think it's an entertaining show. I listen.
I know it is. I listen to every one of them back, and I make notes, and I judge myself very harshly. And
I don't make.
You make
notes.
Me laugh every week.
That's the goal.
And
so
I hope we're informative.
Where was? Oh yes.
Sorry. Foreigner show recap. Go for
it. Sorry to cut you off there. So Loverboy opens, and if anybody has seen the Foreigner Belt episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I giggled every time that we got tickets to see this stupid band. I said I was going to make a Foreigner Belt T-shirt. Have not done it. But and then in the episode, one of the Moonanites, when he has stolen the Foreigner Belt from Ignignok, he says, "All right, girls, I'm ready for hot girls in love." And he goes, "Wait a minute, this thing's not working." And then Ignignok says, "That's because those are Loverboy lyrics. And Loverboy has always sucked." And you know what? Nailed it. So I'm seeing Foreigner. I'm seeing both of the bands mentioned in the episode on the same bill. Halfway through Loverboy, I look at my wife and I'm like, I hope you're enjoying this. And she's like, wait a minute, why are we here? You said you wanted to see all of Love. You said you wanted to see Loverboy. She's like, I did. That's the impression I was under. And at which point she said, shut up. It's fodder for your podcast. Okay, well, you know
She
what?
knows she's the number one fan.
No, she's not.
If she's listening or liking, I don't see it publicly, but I hope she's listening.
She is not.
Well, you drove her off with your.
No, she deals with me all the
appropriateness.
time. She doesn't need to.
That's true. None of my friends want to listen to me again for another hour in their life. They're tired of me.
Exactly.
How was the show? How was the show? How was the set list? What was the performance like? Was it passable?
It was passable. I mean, it was a lot more fun than because I've again seen them 3 times now. I think the first time was the some anniversary of 4. So they played a lot of 4. Mick Jones was on stage for the whole show, which is unusual for him. Then the second time we saw them, it was these guys. And it's like seeing Leonard Skinner now. I mean, you can, yeah. And so, I mean, they did a good job. I did not need the acoustic set. They did play one song that some of those band members had recorded. They did play it during the acoustic set, which was unnecessary. And there was a drum solo, which I'm well on record for drum solos. Told the kid there was a drum solo, and she went, "Oh." Kid's smart. Even a Ginger Baker drum solo didn't sway her. There was also a guitar solo, which I would like to have been in the band meeting for that one. When the dude's like, you guys, I need my time. I am constrained and I need to effusively blow up the keyboard. I've never seen an extended keyboard solo at any show I've ever been to until last night. I was trying to wait to pee till the guitar solo. Unfortunately, I saw the whole damn thing.
Come on, guys. We don't have a lot of songs that feature the cowbell. There goes Nick. You knew it was coming. You knew
Did not. Coming. I should have expected that.
I mean, gosh.
Yes, I am Bruce Dickinson. Yes, the Bruce Dickinson.
I'm producer Bruce Dickinson. Full fighters. That's that episode, by the way.
I put my pants on one leg at a time, except once I do, I make gold records.
I have a fever, and the only thing that can cure it is more cowbell.
In Rockford, and I probably have told this before, but in Rockford, Illinois, for the Ice Hogs, they would play that, and then there would be 8,000 cacophonous cowbells going for about 35 to 40 seconds. And when you're there to see your team getting trounced 8-1 in the second, that cacophonous cowbell is torture.
There were people at the Oakland A game, the Oakland A, only one A because that's all I have left is one fan. That's for the fan to decide. The Oakland A's game I went to when the Domingo German pitched a perfect game. There was not only people with cowbells because they need to entertain themselves somehow. It's not the product on the field. There was a guy with a marching band drum rat-a-tat-tatting in real time during the game, which they allowed because anything goes now out there.
Did you think it was a soccer match?
I don't know what they thought. Also, you can't mention Rockford. You know what band comes from Rockford?
Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick. Good stuff. Nik is undefeated in trivia from me. So good show. You don't regret going.
Good show.
You need to go a fourth time and ever see them again.
That's farewell tour.
Should people see them?
If you like Foreigner even a little, it's very easy to forget.
Do you want to know what love is?
I do.
We did someone to show you.
Let me say when they got
20 minutes
when they got to Jukebox Hero, that was the last song before the encore, and we went down to the merch booth. My wife bought a shirt, really encouraging her to buy shirts because she never did before, and it's like that's the money. So she got her Foreigner shirt. She did not pick out the one I would have picked out for her, so I'm glad I didn't get it. But so she's like, okay, we can watch Jukebox Hero and we'll be off to the side and we'll skip the other two. And I'm like, whoa. I'm not asking you to leave. Do not leave this on my account. We're not even driving. We have a shuttle back to the hotel where we went back and kept drinking. Cheaper. And she's like, no, we're fine. I just want Jukebox Hero. The encore was I Want to Know What Love Is, of course. And I don't need that. And Hot Blooded. It was those are
10
that was
minutes
that.
of bum 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 bum. That
No,
vamp.
they did that for Jukebox Hero.
Oh, Jukebox didn't have the vamp for Jukebox Hero for the chorus.
Yeah.
Of
So like
it.
halfway through this warble, this like 6-minute warble, wife looks at me and goes, I'm done. Let's go. I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah.
Metallica closing with Seek and Destroy every show for 5 or 6 years in a row. Yeah. 18-minute Seek and Destroy. Don't need it ever again.
No, that's time to that's barbecue's over sound.
Out to the exits, to the parking lot, yo.
Speaking of barbecue's over sound, Futurama comes back on Monday.
No way.
Yeah, Monday on Hulu.
All right,
Anyway,
good to know.
so yes, if you like Foreigner, this is a very good replication of the classic band, and they sound really similar to what's on the classics. They're not going to bombard you with stuff that they recorded. The acoustic set is self-indulgent and terrible. The band introductions during that set are way long, but it was still fun. Good fun night out. It's a shed show. You get on the lawn in the shed, and you're pretty much gonna have a good time. And with that, I believe we are done on the fun. Now let's get some funk in the trunk.
All right.
Grandiose style.
So you want
So
to take it away?
I will take
Where
it
do we
away.
leave off? I think we left off after their Survival album was done. You might have discussed the tour. I don't remember. And they have a multitude of hit albums in a row. I'm still trying to figure out how. And they're great promoters and marketers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to mention Geezer Butler briefly.
Oh, sure. Okay.
One callback to our Black Sabbath series when we talked about the album Sabotage. Sabotage was recorded in California. We made the joke that it was co-produced by Cocaine. Per Geezer Butler,
Confirmed.
In the book, Into the Void, from Birth to Black Sabbath and Beyond, the bill to record that record was $75,000. The Cocaine bill was $70,000. And the whole time in the book, he's like, "Oh yeah, I never did much with the boys, and I couldn't drink like they do." And then he talks about all this stuff that he's drunk and done, and I'm like, "I look, you might be romanticizing your memory here a little bit, buddy, because you're talking about a lot of hand truck fuel." A lot of it. He's like, yeah, I snorted with Bonham all night. That's not the couple lines you said you did.
The marching powder was going. There was that story about Bonham where he's like, he is a little judgy. I'm not gonna lie. I love Geezer, and we should do a proper episode on this whole book because it is very revelatory. And I mentioned in a previous
Yes.
there's a lot of stuff you like. This is honestly a better book than Iommi's book, even.
Oh, much better.
And Ozzy's book,
the right
which is
length
not written by
with.
Ozzy. So Ozzy's book is ghost written mostly for, some of him is in there, but it's not him. This is Terry writing his book mostly.
It's the right length. It's got the right cadence. I'm up to 1989. It's spectacular. It is truly.
He's very judgmental about everybody.
Well,
and maybe that's why people don't like him. He's very judgmental.
He sees himself as the good guy.
He does see himself as the hero in his story.
Yes, he does.
Never the bad guy.
He's got main character syndrome.
I'm gonna save all my anecdotes and thoughts and opinions for the proper chaser on the book.
Agreed. I just want to say one more thing, and then I'll get off Geezer Butler.
Shut up.
I had heard at a Guitar Center years ago that Geezer had lived in St. Louis. And the only confirmation I ever got of that was during the 2011 or 2014 World Series when the Cardinals were in. Was it 2014? Maybe 12. I don't know. 20 or not 2011.
12 sounds right. They lost to the Red Sox.
Yeah, when they lost,
they laid down like bitches.
They laid down like bitches in 04 to the Red Sox. They just got beaten in 6 to the Red Sox the next time. But I remember I was driving to a guitar lesson and I pulled up Twitter and Geezer Butler had tweeted, blah, bloody Cardinals after they had lost. So and I'm like, well, why would an English dude? So that led that he lived here. And yeah, it turns out he married a St. Louis woman that he met at the airport, lived in St. Louis. His children had very serious medical procedures done on Grand Avenue near my old house, a place that I
In
went
an
and
alleyway, or is there a hospital there?
no,
Jesus.
St. Louis Children's Hospital.
Oh, okay. See, on this street.
No, it's a very it's a very well respected like nationwide hospital.
Like a
There was actually
Handmaid's Tale in St. Louis. I don't know what's going on there.
there were actually like people from Canada that came down to get stuff there. It was big news because socialized medicine, blah blah blah. But yeah, so to get confirmation that he actually did live in St. Louis for a number of years, he might still live here. I'm not sure. He moved back to England for a time at least.
Would you like a spoiler alert for the end of the book?
Sure.
They still have a residence in Missouri because her family is all there.
Probably
Gloria.
Chesterfield or yeah,
Gloria.
probably Chesterfield or a little farther west. But anyway,
They're west
back
for sure. They're not in a Saint. They're not St. Louisans proper. They live in the rich burbs.
well, yes, Chesterfield, Missouri is 30 to 40 miles west of where I'm sitting. And that's when you got to get past the poors to get there. And then you got to get past the faux rich. You got to get past the poors, then the middles, then the faux, then the real. And that's when you're in the money. And that's where they don't let me in. There's only two kinds of people in this world: rich and poor. If you ain't rich, you're poor. And they will sow, and the rich will sow division everywhere else.
To quote Amigo the Devil, maybe we need to do an Amigo the Devil series. There's only one kind of people in this world: people who die.
Hey, Miles Davis.
Ah, Davis, talk like this.
Miles, he's the one that said only two kinds of music, right? Good and bad. Okay, nailed it.
Nailed it.
E pluribus funk.
Let's talk about this expediently.
So, yeah, so they, another tour. These guys are riding really high, and I mean, this episode is going to be really devoid of the funk, quite frankly. Go ahead. You got to
What
get
is
your
the
finger
highlight of the run up to this record we're going to talk about today? What did Grand Funk do that was the biggest deal in their career? Probably.
No idea.
You don't know why E Pluribus Funk has a rendering of Shea Stadium on the back.
Oh,
headline tour.
Oh God, we're talking about. Look, does
survival.
New York need to pat itself on the back this damn much?
New York pats itself on the back so hard every day, its wrist is broken. But I'm gonna do it a little bit more. I don't think it's New York. I just think it's like, so this band was, E Pluribus Funk is their fifth record or sixth record. They're all million sellers at this point. They're shameless self-promoters. Terry Knight wasn't a very good front man, but he turned out to be a very good promoter and producer. And even though I don't think these records are that stellar, they're all B's pretty much. They're not poor. They're just not great. Nothing really exceptional about most of Grand Funk's output for a while. But
I thought I liked Grand Funk way more.
Yeah, you're definitely in rose-colored earbuds in. But just
no, I mean, I thought I liked Grand Funk way more before we started this.
They were so big. This is to give you an idea how big they are. They sold out Shea Stadium, the former home of the New York Mets, for many years.
Oh yeah, I do remember this story now.
Faster than the Beatles did. And that was considered so mind-blowing that a band could sell it out. The Beatles took a week or two to sell out the whole stadium, but that was before that was a thing. No band had ever played a stadium of any kind before the Beatles played Shea Stadium, and the next band to really conquer that mountain was Queen, who did it over and over. First in all of South America, then football stadiums in America, then Europe, soccer stadiums. So
still football.
On the back of, not the good football, the other football, on the back
proper
of
football.
No, nobody in America calls it proper football. On the back of,
you had to ball you play with your foot. It's
NFL.
Proper football.
On the back of
AFL, Arena Football League. That's the all fun league. It's coming back next year. St. Louis has a team. I'm buying season tickets.
I'm glad. Good for you. So they sell out Shea Stadium faster. This is about maybe 55,000 people in the early 70s.
And keep in mind, I'm going to jump in.
Yeah, you take it over. I don't want to do
because
this.
I really, I really want to hammer this point home. We are talking about an era when arena tours really don't exist yet. The idea of hitting the hockey rinks doesn't happen until like the mid 70s. And here we have this American band. That was not intentional. We have this band that's existed for what, 3-5 years at this point, playing baseball stadiums like the
Wacky.
Beatles did.
Wacky. They have, and they don't really have number ones. They have a bunch of top tens.
Yeah.
They never really had a bunch of number ones until later when they supposedly sold out. But we'll get there. I think it's inherently interesting that they were able to get that big, especially based on these records we've been listening to.
It's not just that. It's amazing that any band could get that big that quickly. Now, I'm not going to say the Beatles weren't talented. I'm on record for decades. I'm not the biggest Beatles fan in the world. I am growing in appreciation as I age because I'm giving them a proper chance and deciding, you know what? Everybody steals from everybody. So the fact that they stole from the Dave Clark Five and Jimi Hendrix, I can live with this. Jimi Hendrix stole from everybody else too. So I mean, I, again, can live with it now. He stole from Bob Dylan.
Jimi Hendrix, he didn't
just
steal from Bob Dylan. He covered Bob
I
Dylan.
I know.
He popularized blues.
Okay, Captain.
He is the most original artist ever.
Oh
Come
God,
on, bro.
Captain
He didn't steal from
Actually.
anyone. You do it every time, though. You besmirch Jimi Hendrix every time he comes up. You besmirch him.
I'm not besmirching him.
You have. Don't say he stole. He didn't steal anything. He invented more than anybody.
He did.
Metal doesn't exist without Jimmy. Guitar technology. You love playing guitar.
I know.
Don't set me off, man. You just want to set me. I drank this whole beer. I smashed this beer. I wish I had another one handy. Don't make me. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
What I'm saying is everyone borrows.
That's and because fair. Don't say steal though. Steal's offensive.
It's the same fucking thing.
We live on stolen land. That's a fact. The music Jimi Hendrix made was not stolen. Covers, sure.
Can I continue?
You can.
Where the hell was I? Oh, anyway, not saying the Beatles weren't talented, not besmirching the Beatles. But this time, they had a lot of help getting to where they were. They don't get there without the Ed Sullivan Show. So all of a sudden, the Ed Sullivan Show, it's hard. You know, we're happy that Futurama is coming back next week on a streamer. Everybody in this, that you can watch that. But in 1964, the American television was a lot like English television was still, where they've got, you know, BBC 1, 2, 3. That's what we had. You had 1, 2, 3, ABC, NBC, CBS, a couple of local independents, a third one when the weather was just right, just the right amount of rain. Sometimes too much, sometimes too little, just the right number. And you can get channel 13 from Mount Vernon, Illinois, and see some wacky ass cartoons that we don't get normally. So without that, the Beatles do not become the phenomenon they are. They become, because the whole world watched Ed Sullivan in America because there wasn't anything else on. So Grand Funk doesn't have that. They don't have this iconic performance. They don't have this nationwide blow up. They did it by recording and whoring. And by whoring, I mean touring and whoring, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Trying to make I'm not getting there. I mean, the Doors didn't do this. Jimi Hendrix didn't do this. Jimi Hendrix was playing theaters months before he died. And here, Grand Funk at this time is at Shea Stadium.
And it worked.
Yeah, I know.
And everybody bought those records. Everybody's record collection had these early records. And I still don't know why. But yeah,
I mean,
we'll figure it out.
Just wrap your damn head around that. So now let's talk about album covers. One thing I hate is when people get cute with media covers. Okay. Notice I said media. Simpsons season 3 or 4, I forget what it was. The DVD case is goddamn Simpsons, Homer Simpson's head. That doesn't fit on my shelf. I didn't buy it. I'm like, I don't want, no. You give me one that's a square case. I can put it with the other ones. It looks fine. You give me that. Okay. I didn't buy Eddie the Head box set where all the CDs are in little slips inside Eddie's. No, no. You just, I want to put it on my shelf and move on. That's what you give me. What shape is a record?
Round.
What shape is a record sleeve?
Square.
Why does that work so well?
I don't
Why do
know.
you
We're
think?
very simple creatures. We need basic shapes
You know what I think it works so well? Square. Why are wheels round?
to help move. To help
Because they
movement.
roll.
Yeah, they make movement.
You can't roll if you're square.
No.
So if I put just the record right
It's
there,
gonna roll. E pluribus funk. Like on paper, it's a good idea. It was creative. And that's
yes.
the it's also the era. It's a little ahead of physical graffiti with the
You know what else I
windows.
don't want? I don't want underpants being the record sleeve, Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper with the zipper.
No, that was the Rolling Stones.
Banana peel, velvet underground, and Nico.
Yeah.
Aerosmith's got one.
Do
Sticky
they?
Fingers. There's a bunch.
Just give me a record sleeve.
I
If you
think
want
the
to do like
original
a,
Yes, Tales of Topographic Oceans has like a bumpy
okay,
album
that
with a relief.
I can live with that. That's fine. It don't roll off the shelf. It doesn't dig a zipper into the back of my other records.
So describe why we're ranting about this. So
They made it
go ahead.
into a 50-cent piece.
Yeah, they made E pluribus funk. By the way, so according to Wikipedia, which we know not to trust, and I did listen to a lot of Fireball Ministry today. We know not to
Oh, I
trust
need to spin that. I haven't
Wikipedia.
done that in a while.
I'm going to ask your opinion. You're a very wordily knowledgeable, smart, grown-up person.
Well, thank you.
Is the motto of America E pluribus unum, or is
Used
it
to
just
be.
on our money?
No. That was the
Wikipedia says
motto.
it's the motto of the country. That
Was the
is
motto.
disgusting,
Why?
bro.
What is it?
Like
Okay. What does E pluribus unum mean? I don't remember.
from the many one,
Right.
which is absolutely not our policy as a country.
It
We're
used
the
to
most
be.
selfish,
It
fucked up
used to
country.
be. It used to be. You used to be able to come in and be like, hey, bro, I live
Yeah,
here
we
now.
are not. We have never been that. Like we
We
think
were
we
that.
are. We have never
Kind of.
been.
We were kind of that. We were trying to be
We're
that.
supposed to be. We're not. It's
We kind of were.
aggravating
We
to me.
kind of were at one time. Kind of.
I've never heard anyone say like America, e pluribus unum. Not once in my whole
That's
life.
because they changed it
50
in
years
the
old.
50s to "In God We Trust,"
Ugh,
which
even worse.
that's when the religious. That's when the
One
religious
nation
aspect.
under God, indivisible by made up pledges of allegiance for all.
All that stuff is from the 50s. That is not traditional.
That is from the post World War II Ike era. That is a fact.
Correct. That is when, and
What
then
a bunch of fascists they were.
Because if you put religion in with government, that's fascism.
Supposedly.
No, that's the word.
The definition of So anyway, so Nik hates the album cover. It was clever. I was well executed. If you've ever seen one,
it is. I have held it.
So the album is in a sleeve covered with a foil that makes it look like a coin. That's what the rub is.
Look, great idea, but you know what would have made it better?
Not that.
Yeah, if it were square.
It was square. Yeah, there's other way. You could have executed it creatively another way.
You know how they could have done it? They could have made it look like it's a collectible coin in the sleeve.
Could have made it look like when the mint rolls out money.
Yeah.
Could have looked like a sleeve of bills.
So much better they could have done instead of having a record that'll roll off your shelf.
Anything else you want to? We've now talked about the two anecdotes that are the most interesting thing about this album: the concert tour, the Shea Stadium on the back, the album cover and packaging, not the music.
Let's talk about the music.
Lead the way, and I'll give minimal thoughts. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Solid,
this record is
not spectacular. Could be literally the motto of this band.
Yeah. Familiar. There's a band called Familiar Looking Strangers. They're a modern alt rock band. Pretty good. I think I reviewed them. I don't remember. I think I meant to. Maybe I didn't. But Familiar Looking Strangers is how I would describe every Grand Funk Railroad song that's not the three biggest hits. Because it sounds like everything you've ever heard. It's just good enough. And it's just good enough. It's just good enough to be popular, never offensive, never controversial, They barely sing about even doing the deed. They sing about literally nothing.
Well, they're secretly very religious guys.
Oh, there you go.
Mark is very devoutly religious. I will tell you this just right out of the gate before like reflecting on any of these songs. Mark wrote this whole album. This is before Don starts. Don had some contributions last album where he literally wrote whole songs and sang lead. I don't know what was up with him. Maybe he was on the schneef or whatever after that last tour, but like Mark came in with the fully fledged realized album to record all the songs, all the harmonies, all the lyrics, all the singing. And this is a better, more because of that. This is arguably of the early Grand Funk records that I have listened to recently. This is the most cohesive that I recall.
Okay.
Would you
Well, I
agree?
mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I will say that. And one thing I will say, and I'm going to say this, the first track is Foot Stompin' Music, which is the funkiest thing I have heard by Grand Funk yet.
It's a fun song.
There's actually funk.
It's probably their
This
best opening song on an album that I know.
this
And
this one was I believe this was the opening track when I saw them.
it's been a
What they
staple of
started
their
with.
set forever.
It's it's a good song. It's got cool Hammond organ, and I am a sucker for the Hammond organ. They always make fun of Rimmer on Red Dwarf because he loves the Hammond organ. I'm with you, buddy. That is the one thing I am with Arnold Judas Rimmer is the Hammond organ. Maybe not Reggie Wilson. Maybe not that. Definitely not clog dancing. But give me a little Hammond. Give me that little that that when you get that just right, when you hit it just right, you get that, oh, the amp can't contain this. There's so much awesome going on. And when you get that just right, like Beastie Boys Gratitude, perfection through those Leslie speakers, you get that chorus effect, and it's just pure joy. However, this song is also purely forgettable. It's over and it's gone. And decent enough time while you're there. It's a
Let's
bar
whip
band.
through these. This is the best of them all of them.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
all
all
downhill from
downhill
here.
from here for sure. Let's try to whip through these.
People, let's stop the war.
Good
Okay.
idea. Not crazy about the execution.
They did not stick the landing, and they also fell down when they got to the batter's box. Am I wrong?
Not in any way, shape, or form. Continue.
Upsetter. Okay, well,
I'm
I mean,
trying like we had talked in the Floyd times about like Pink Floyd and Eric Clapton and a few other people being responsible for Steve Miller bringing reggae guitar into the lexicon of rock music. So I like upsetter as a terminology that comes from reggae, but like this band using it in a song that fully has no connection to the music is concerning and weird.
see, the thing about this is
Little appropriation happening here.
it's music colonialism, and one of the great things about food colonialism is the English created vindaloo. They took Indian curry, turned it into vindaloo, and then the Indians went, oh, well, we'll just make it Indian style. So now you have this thing, and you got this wonderful give and take, completely forgetting all the terrible awfulness that leading up to that. But Vindaloo is delicious. Dave Lister, Red Dwarf once again. Gonna try to get Red Dwarf into this as much as I can because it's way better than this record. But yeah, I mean, they describe themselves in the concert as rock and roll soul, and I don't know if that it makes even any sense at all. I would say that would be James Brown, but
Not
even
this.
yeah, this is not. I mean,
This ain't
yeah,
it.
no, this ain't it. And let me say one thing about Grand Funk Railroad that I'm really thankful for. They do albums that aren't too long, and in fact are a little short.
Until next week.
Hmm, spoilers. I Come Tumbling, no stronger memories, no strong
This is actually
feelings.
not a bad song. This is the second best song I can recall on this record. And Farner, in particular, on this song, does a really lovely. He harmonizes with himself. I don't think it's Don. I think it's Mark by himself. I don't know how they did it live, but
By Don. Don's a good singer.
He is,
Still
but
sings
I'm
really
saying like
well.
Mark in particular is
Yeah.
like a beautifully layered harmony
Mhm.
that almost elevates the song above whatever I don't know what he's singing about, but like his vocals are great on this track particularly. And there's some nice kind of reminded me of Chicago, very similar to early Chicago when they had all the guys, Cetera and Kath, and
Is
there's like
this when
some noodly lead guitar in there. So I like this song.
the strings come in, or is that later?
Later.
Okay. Flip the record. And again, we have another 8-song record where it's backloaded with oh my god, we need to fill some time. That seems to be a Grand Funk trademark.
I think it's a 70s rock trademark. Kiss, I'm looking at you.
What? No. Okay, Black Diamond.
I love Black Diamond. Here we go again. Again, triggering me. Black Diamond
That's
rules. Be quiet.
one. I love that song. That is my favorite Ace Frehley song.
Your wife's wedding ring. End the story.
Yeah, my wife's wedding ring is Black Diamond. No, it's my wedding ring, not hers.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Hers is Sapphire and Diamond.
Oh.
Mine is Black Diamond. No, it's me. That's me. 2, Paul Stanley sings his ass off at the beginning.
As does Peter.
Peter's best vocal performance.
Arguably.
No, there's no argument.
Hard
There's
woman.
no.
Yeah.
This is Peter at his most raw. Anyway, love that song.
We
But
talk
however,
about Pink Floyd, so we could just have the Metallica Kiss trifecta.
I don't
Anyway.
need the 90-second. That's what I'm talking about. Just
All
that.
right. This is a decent song. Moving along.
Moving along. Flip the record. Save the land. Okay, I don't know what's going on.
Why?
Here.
Who said this was a good idea? By the way, this is their last album produced by Terry Knight, and I think I know why.
If you told me that this track was foot stomping music, I would believe you.
Wouldn't know the difference.
No.
Would
you?
I would, because that's like a
much?
popular song, but not that much, but
Okay,
a little bit.
Let me rephrase. If I told you this was People Let's Stop the War,
I wouldn't know it.
there you go. No Lies. I mean, this is the strings, right?
Yeah, I think this is the one. It's a
So
nothing burger except for the strings.
Kid and I are listening to this, and the strings come up, and I just go, I look at her, and she looks at me, and I said, "What in the hell is this?" She's like, "I don't know who did
Trying
this."
to get fancy.
She's like, "I don't know who did this, but I ain't asking for this." And I'm like,
That
"Wow,
is
you
your
should
kid.
listen. You should listen to Superstar from Black Sabbath Sabotage, where they did the same thing."
I thought you were doing the Carpenters suddenly. We should do the Carpenters as a run.
Oh God,
Short run. Go ahead.
my wife would be thrilled because I'd be listening to the Carpenters for a month. She'd love that. Then we trail on into Loneliness.
Next week, Nick's divorce, everybody. Go on.
My wife loves the Carpenters. She loves vocal music. So no, it would be that would be saving Nick's marriage for another 6 months, because maybe she'll realize one of these days just how awful and terrible I am. So let's do the Carpenters. Today when we were working at the house, I'm like, okay, let's go do the painting. She's like, okay. I'm like, do you want to listen to Grand Funk while we do it? She's like, yes, I do. All right. So Loneliness. Okay, again, let's fill some time, get some solos. And Mark Farner is a very talented gentleman. Lyrically, meh, questionable. I mean, but lyrically speaking, most 70s dudes are questionable.
This is another track with like a noodly blues solo that's passable. It's not bad. It's not a bad song. None of these songs are horrible. They're just not great. And that's the problem of this whole band.
This record, and I'm just going to sum this up if you don't mind. Actually, we're doing really good on time. We're about to nail this properly because we spent way more time on a lot of other things. Anyway, this album, much like Survival, is better than Survival. It is a step up. There is very little standout. There's very little stick out either. It's that Midland 70s rock that if you turn on KC Classics tomorrow, well, Sunday at 5 a.m. Central Time to noon, or however long the hell that stupid show goes. If you listen to that, you're going to hear 1,800 other bands that sound just like this. There is nothing special. There's nothing aromatic, and there is nothing odorific either. It is just there. And you're gonna tap your foot And as soon as the needle clicks at the end of the side, you're probably not going to have any strong memories or feelings. There's nothing big. There's no, it fair to Midland all the way through.
I have nothing else to add. That's just accurate. This is not painful, but not good either. We've listened to worse records. We've listened to worse runs of bands. Quiet Riot, I'm looking at you, even with the greatness in the beginning of that series. But
yeah, Quiet Riot falls off the cliff.
They
real
sold
fast.
1 million of these records again. So just people were high and not paying attention. That's all I have to say.
That's all I have to say as well. Whose turn is it?
It was me last week, so I think it's
all right. Keefy, thank you very much for joining me on all of these oftentimes ill-advised journeys that I create. It seems like the worst series are me, and anytime we run into the mud, I'm going, that's where we're going, over there where it rained. Sorry, everyone, but it's always fun to explore this with you, and everybody who listens, hopefully you or watches, hopefully you get something out of this where you think, well, you know what, these guys love music and their passion hopefully is infectious. And just remember, however smart and erudite and learned we are on all of these topics in music, whenever I try to dig down deep and teach my child about the inner workings of music, the industry, the trends, the ebbs and flows, the flotsam and jetsam of all of it, she just wants to talk about the Beatles and completely ignores everything I have to say. So if you've gotten this far, give us a star, even if it's just one. Give a thumbs up on the YouTube. Give us a chance with a subscribe. We have plenty of great stuff coming. But as we say every week, thank you for joining us. There's a million podcasts. It's humbling that you're taking the time to listen to me and my good friend Keefy. But this is the Glacially Musical Podcast. It does not play in Peoria, and Grand Funk probably didn't either because they don't have a Shea Stadium for some reason.